What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack. We just had on Golden State Warriors guard Moses Moody, who is going into year 5 of the NBA. The Little Rock, Arkansas native went to the University of Arkansas for a year. He was like one and done, too easy, light work, lottery pick, and is now with the Warriors. And we chat about what's going on the court, his expectations for next year, learning a lot from Steph Curry, Draymond, but also we dive into the world you don't get to see that much, which is tech, investing, what Moses has got into since he's been here in Silicon Valley, some of the rooms he's been in. Really insightful conversation from Moses. I appreciate how he peels back the curtain of what's going on when he's not hooping and how he's maximizing his time here with the big boys in Silicon Valley and in venture capital. If you can, please like, subscribe, give us a comment, because we'll keep bringing the heat. All right, let's get right in the episode. How's your offseason been so far?
It's been really good. I got to go home early on, see the family, hang around a little bit. I'm still going back because I was only really there for like a week, so I got to go spend some more time.
And you're from Little Rock,
Yep.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the South, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're not really as South as Houston, because I'm a Houston guy, but if you can consider yourself South, we'll roll with it.
Nah, we as South as it gets. It's the dirty South.
You already know, man. I think it's ironic you're on the show during the offseason because all of my NBA friends, I'm like, your offseason seems more busy than the regular season. I mean, you're on a flight constantly. There's no stop.
That's something I didn't realize about being in the NBA was like how busy the offseason is. But yeah, it's as busy as you want it to be. You can sit on the couch all day if you want to.
What's the hooper in me has to know, like, do you like work out with the Rico Hines in LA, or are you like the Miami runs, or are you just kind of in your own gym and trainer? What's your typical offseason work look like?
Yeah, well, this is I'm still obviously 4th season in, so my first 2 years I was in Golden State a lot, playing and just around the facility.
Yeah.
Last year I got to venture off a little bit. I wanted to go out and work out with Rico, but I was coming back. I had a little injury thing I was working through, so I couldn't play as much as I wanted to. But I was in LA, working out with Dash. In
the Valley, right?
Yeah. But with Chris Johnson, that's my guy too. And then I worked out with Phil Beckner some. I really do want to I'm a real routine type of guy. When I get comfortable with somebody, I like to stay with them, but I want to like move around and kind of see what other people have to offer too. Cause
pick up different stuff.
Yeah, it's everybody got their own flavor to it.
Yeah, I always thought Dash workouts are really interesting. All these drills like I never seen before.
Yeah, I love Dash because he love what he do, and he's so, you know how somebody can be teaching you something and that you kind of get it, so they say you got it, and you move on to the next thing because you got to. But no, he's like he really teaching you what he's teaching you. You can feel it when you talk to him about basketball. When he working you out, it's not cookie cutter. No, we really working on something, and we not going to the next thing until we figure it out. And it's not mean, it's not aggressive. It's no, we working together to figure it out.
Straight up mastery.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Where are you most excited to hit this offseason? I know you say you're going to London. Is there something else? You just came from the Bahamas too. I think we should mention
242 to the world. Shout out Buddy Hill.
Yeah. Shout out, Buddy.
I really enjoyed the Bahamas for one. First off, I loved it. I love the people there. I didn't realize like the feeling that I would get from them just around the resort that I was at. But even I left and went around the Bahamas, and they just like took me everywhere, to the hood, to the nicest parts everywhere.
So they gave you the hood tour.
Yeah, just saw it all, you know. But you said someplace I'm most excited about. I'm going to Morocco.
When?
After I told you I'm going to London, and I'm going to Morocco right after that. But I'm doing that with the NBPA and their classes they're doing on impact investing. So I'm gonna go over there, but I'm excited to go. I love going to the continent whenever I can.
Hey, shout out to NBPA for giving me the invite. Really appreciate it. I'm excited to go. Moses, thanks Neil. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks Mutaba. Appreciate y'all. Just kidding. That sounds sick. Sick. So you guys are gonna go to Morocco and learn about how investments are helping the communities there?
Yeah, like what the best ways to do it, the best ways to impact somebody, how to be precise with the money that you give, you know, not just giving a bunch of money for no reason. Now you wasting it, but being more, that's what it seems like it is, but I guess I'll go figure it out exactly what they mean.
I mean, I would if you go there and you want to come back and be a guest co-host and give your take on it, well, I'll have you back just because I'm fascinated to learn about that. Speaking of money as well, Draymond gave you this advice that I heard in a previous interview about that season after you get the contract extension, live the same exact way as you did before the contract. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, for sure. It made a lot of sense. Even what he was saying, like the money that you get earlier is more valuable than the money that you get later, obviously, when you talk about compound interest and investing. So that was some really good insight that he gave me.
Yeah. What has been like the best life advice Draymond has given you? Doesn't have to be financial. Maybe it is.
I talk to Draymond a lot, so I wouldn't even be able to think of the best, but just a piece of advice. Man, that was a good one when we talk about finance and money, and I talk about the stuff that he's doing off the court and just kind of getting the background on that. But he got me early on too, so this is like when I'm coming straight from Arkansas, coming to the NBA, seeing the big old world. He was somebody that I could really tap on to talk to me and just give me advice about stuff before I got to go deal with it.
Can you give me an example of a Draymondism?
Draymonism.
Like something that Draymond has told you that like you'll never forget that you can share on this podcast?
He told me to go to Europe because in America we live to work. In Europe they work to live.
That I could say that feels very accurate. Like when I went to Italy, everyone was just on their own time, great vibes. Like no one was stressed or in a rush to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. This is my take. I'll speak for myself. That's also kind of why sometimes the GDP suffers because they'd be chilling a little too much over there. But I mean, it's fun to go visit and hang out with them. Yeah. But they're so community oriented over there.
Yeah, you feel it. And it's something else that was really cool. When I don't know if it was Belly or if it was Dario. It was Dario actually. When they was talking about like the union that they used to have between like Croatia and Serbia and like I don't know exactly what it was, but Draymond was able to like point out each of the countries that was a part of it and broke it up, and that really like opened me up because I ain't never really thought about I ain't know much about geography, about the world, but that really made me want to, and I got a deep dive and I learned it all. I learned every continent, every country on every continent, and but that was the reason that I did it. But I'm happy that I did. So that was another cool thing.
So Draymond's European, he's cultured about Europe, and that's rubbed off on you.
He know about the whole world. Would ask him anything. He got it.
Have you spent some time in Europe before?
No, okay. I haven't.
What country are you most excited to check out?
Well, I'm going to London, and I'm excited about that. I want to go to Italy. I'm really excited about one day going to Serbia. I would love to do that just because every Serbian that I've met coming up has been like one of my favorite people that I've met coming up. So. I played high school with my man Bolsha Kopovica. He was Serbian, really good dude. Obviously Dario. So that's just something I'm excited to do.
You think if you go to Serbia, you got to tap in with Jokic first?
I'm good with Dario. That's what I got to check in with. Yeah.
You're covered. They're gonna make you play 3-on-3 on the blacktop courts. I heard they love 3-on-3 over there. It's huge.
Yeah, I'm down.
Have you ever played 3-on-3 FIBA rules? By the way, like in practice?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
I think that's like one of the best ways to get in shape.
Yeah, that's when we do it. When we need to do conditioning or getting back in shape. If you don't want to play full court or rehab or whatever, we always play FIBA rules.
It's the best, and it's so much fun. You have to have a bag, but you have to guard, also get ISO'd.
Yeah,
there's no hiding on 3-on-3.
Yeah, but then too, like you get that rebound, kick somebody wide open if you want
close it. Yep.
Yeah, you got to because we playing half court, then you can everybody make a shot, walk back, check it up, slow it down. But FIBA rules, you got to go.
You got to go. And I feel like that probably is so helpful for you even playing on the Warriors because you're always like spacing or screening to a shot or screening for Steph. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure that translates like crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I would hate to guard Steph in 3-on-3.
No, yeah, it's not fun.
Nah, it's work.
He get all that space to work. You don't want to guard Steph no way.
What about you? Are we seeing you in 3-on-3? What's your 3-on-3 like?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite way to play. Like growing up, you play whoever's on the court, whoever there. So 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, you got more space to work, and I'm an outside player. Yeah,
100%. Talk to me like you're going to year 5, right? So that's like you're like kind of getting older, even though you're only 23. Mm-hmm. NBA years is like I feel like it's like dog years.
Yeah.
What does it feel like? 5 years in the NBA? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you remember the exact feeling of when you got drafted. I guess, what's your expectations for this next year?
Yeah. Like you said, time flies. It's crazy saying that. I'm going into year 5. But it does feel like I've grown up so much since I was in college, but I could still be in college, and that's crazy too.
I mean, there's guys older than you.
Every rookie, other than Pods, every rookie that's came since has been older than me, I think. I'm not sure, but I may be.
Is that awkward? Or how do you, like, how does that feel?
I mean, I don't feel the way about it, you know. It's cool, I guess.
You feel like people think you're older than you are?
Yeah, all the time.
How old do they think you are? Like my age? I'm 27.
Yeah.
I'm still young, though. By the way, if you need to get anything, ask your camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got one. I got one.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. They say different ages.
That's crazy, bro. That's a crazy concept.
But that's part of, like you said, NBA is dog years, and you learn so much, you deal with so much, you get tricked so much. So many people can sit on the sideline and critique others, but when you got to actually do it every single day, you learn a lot.
Have you ever imagined what it would be like if you were still at Arkansas and Coach Calipari comes in? You ever thought about what it would be like to play for him?
Oh,
not really giving any mind share.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he's there now. I was happy to see what they did last year, what they put together. When I was in college, I was happy to beat them. We went to Kentucky and got the win, and that's something that I always wanted to do. Growing up in the SEC, watching it all, so that was an amazing experience. But I'm glad he came to the right side.
What were you gonna major in Arkansas? Let's say you did 4 year there.
Yeah, well, I was undeclared my first year, trying to figure it out. But I think I would have majored in business. Is
that title the major itself, or is it like finance, marketing? Like, is there something more specific under that business umbrella? Because that was econ, which is a fancy way of saying, like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, econ major is like kind of vague, but I don't know if you ever thought about it any deeper.
Oh, I didn't necessarily think about it because, when you talk about what you're majoring in college, a lot of times it needs to be what can you do the most with after college. But if I'm genuinely answering that question, I would answer it and say what I wanted to learn the most about. And it would be a lot of the things under business. So econ would have been interesting to me. What it should be, at least. Finance would have been interesting to me. So a lot of things under that umbrella.
Let me tell y'all something, man. It's okay if you're an econ major, just don't go into detail of what the major means, because there's not much. It's just vague, okay? Speaking from experience.
Makes sense.
I had to tell the
It sounds good, though. It sounds good.
Right. It sounds fancy. Econ. You know what I'm saying? Supply, demand. But in the reality, I don't know how it's helped me, because we're doing a podcast right now.
Hey, that's part of that's why it's so broad. It's like this falls under that umbrella, too.
100%. 100%. When was your first ever media training? Was it at Montverde or like Arkansas?
First ever media training was sitting at the table with my dad.
He was interviewing you at dinner, like.
Yeah, he really did when we was young, really young, just preparing you for the microphone. Cause he used to be a public speaker and stuff all the time too, so he was really good at it. And he used to have me go introduce him on the mic and everything. But he would really sit down at the dinner table and ask questions, give you advice on what you should do. Really break it down. Me and my brother both.
Yeah, 100%. With your dad in your games. On a range of LeVar Ball, John Halliburton to John Cena. John Cena's like you can't see him at the game.
Okay.
Where was your dad in like that range? Like in terms of how passionate he was?
Yeah, I say John Cena, you can't see me. My pops, he'll be like ducked off in the corner, sitting by himself. He wouldn't even, like my parents are together, but they wouldn't even sit together during the game because like my mom would sit by her best friend who's the loudest person in the gym. So that's kind of their section. My mom, she was loud at times, but she wasn't the loudest. Her friend was super loud.
Okay.
Michelle, shout out
Michelle.
Yeah, but she got our back.
Yeah.
But my dad would be ducked off in the corner somewhere just watching. And I used to always mess with him because when I was really young, he used to scare me every time I look over there. So I wouldn't even look no more when I played because he got this focused face when he looks, but it looked really mean.
Yeah.
And I had to understand that he's just focused and he not. But when I was like first, second grade, I'm thinking he mad the whole game, but it's just the look that he got when he focused.
I know there's a phrase that your family members used to say while you were playing, like a constant like message of encouragement or critique that drove you nuts. For me, for example, every time I missed a shot, no matter how I missed a shot, my dad would yell, legs, like get your legs into it. Even if that even wasn't why I missed, I know it's got to be something for you.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because that was actually a joke that we used to do because my dad and mom, we was able to recognize that in talking about it, that people do that and they hear other kids doing that. So it's always like, oh, bend your knees or like stuff like that. And so He didn't have one. He didn't do it because we recognized that it was a pointless screaming thing that you did, but it was something we used to always joke about.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, it's not the reason I miss every single time.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Someone blocks my shot, that's not legs.
But everybody need to be involved. They need to give you something. They need to say something. They feel that way. And,
yeah, no, 100%, man. What do you say you've learned from Steph? You know, if you could take one thing away, like in terms of the mentorship or any game that Steph has given you, what's like the one thing that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, so many things just because I love to watch. And obviously best shooter in the world, so I ain't even going to talk about that. I think you're probably going to ask me about Jimmy too, so I'm not even going to talk about Steph's footwork, which is amazing in the way that he plays. He can play without the ball. He's looking at your feet, and that's cool. But I'm going to talk about the most impressive thing about him for me is the mental. Like, Steph is a gangster to the fullest extent of the word. And that's just to say, like, the confidence he got, just the patience he got, like his ability to. And a lot of these dudes you think is tough, that is really good. If they miss 2 shots, they're not gonna shoot no more, and all of that type of thing. But Steph is crazy with it, and his confidence is crazy. His approach is crazy. His work is crazy. Like, all of that is like really commendable to me. And then for him to do it and be the person that he wants to be in the celebrity world too, because I mean he's as big as basketball can take you, but just the professionalism he take into life and the way he make his family life and all of that be the way that he wants to be. He controls it and makes it. You got to actively put attention to your family for your kids when you grow up to have a good relationship with them, because you got to deal with it if you don't make it the way you want to be. But he does that. He's hands-on.
Great observation, by the way.
Manages his time, yeah.
Yeah. What I appreciate about you is these guys aren't just going to give you game off rip. It's not like you probably can just go to Steph and first day and be like, hey, can you give me advice on how to stay in shape better or, you know, work on my footwork? You really have to build that relationship with them. It seems like you've really taken that extra step of being like, hey, I really want to soak up knowledge from you guys early in my career because I know how valuable it is. Even like dropping a layer of ego, like I'm going to sit here and learn and be a student. So I think that's a great quality that you have.
Yeah, you got to earn that. Like thinking about me, like if I'm looking for somebody that I want to help, like I can't help everybody, and I can't help nobody that ain't gonna use it.
Not everyone can come with you.
Yeah, and for one, everything that you want to learn from somebody is not a question. I'm gonna ask precise questions, good questions when I have a question. But other than that, it's so much that I can learn just from watching, and I don't even gotta bother you to do that. So
yeah, 100%. What about Jimmy? Is there like one thing about him that because you know I was coming. What is something that Jimmy has given you by observation or advice?
Yeah, footwork. Jimmy is like I don't want to, I got to diagnose his game, and I don't want to get a competitor's no advantage. But Jimmy is another one. Like, he don't, like, you can put the ball to the side. What he's doing is feet, and he's no wasted movement. He's attacking you, beating you by one step, and getting to a position that he wants to, a powerful position at all times. He's never off balance and doing nothing like that. So that was really cool how I've seen him really just cut out all the other stuff, and I'm trying to step past you. And that's what he does.
What if I asked Steph about you? What do you think he would say? If I said, what is one thing, or Pods or GP2, what is one thing y'all have taken away from Moses in his game? What do you think they would say?
Man, that's a good question. I remember seeing Steph talk about, he did an interview where he was talking about my approach to my rookie year. And he was saying, like, Klutch need to make a movie about it or something. No, but I mean,
your approach.
But he was just saying that in the interview, and it was cool to hear for sure from Steph. But just saying, just the highs and lows, how you manage it all, dealing with playing, not playing, when it's out of your control, and working and being ready for your moment, and all of that. So that was my rookie year. So I think he might say something along those lines, because that's something I like about Steph too. Like, it's hard to be a superstar, but in some way, it's easy to be a superstar.
Yeah.
But could you go through what I be going through, like being in and out, being out of the lineup?
That's a great question.
And I think Steph could, and I wouldn't say that about most.
Bro, you've started games, you've come off the bench, you've not played, you've gotten buckets, you've finished games, you haven't finished games. That takes a lot of mental toughness to get through. And especially when you're on the stage where I mean, there's so many outside distractions that you probably see. You know, you got, celebrities at the game. You got your people probably in your ear like, hey, man, you're like that. You're like that. You should be on the court. You should think that, but you can't outwardly express that all the time because you got to like keep the team morale and, be a good teammate, and you are. It takes a lot to deal with that. I'm sure it has in these 4 years. Mm-hmm. You have like do you have a mental exercise that you use to deal with that? Do you meditate? Do you just positive self-talk? What's like, give me some game. Like how do I get the Moses mentality?
Yeah.
Biblically and hoop-wise.
Yeah. Jimmy gave me a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And that was a really cool one that I read that gave me some tips on that point. I learned a little bit about meditation recently. I'm not super deep dive into it, but I've done it a little bit.
For sure.
But I think you do it because you got to when you realize that you have to. Some people don't, but when you do, because like I got uncles that's like penitentiary uncles that's like been in and out my whole life and all, and we play cards, we play games, and you just hear how emotional people talk. Like they talk. We whenever with anything we do, I'm talking about my Uncle Jason right now. Whenever with anything we do, Uncle gonna talk. We was playing spades the other day, and he loudest one. We go out, shoot a shot. Look, watch this nephew. You ain't never seen this. Da, 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 da. and it's cool.
See that thing, Nev?
Right. His confidence is real. He believe it. But that's also one of the ones that, like, when we talk about basketball, like, you need the rock in your hand. You need to be doing this. You need to be making every decision. But I think you gotta, like, for me personally, I'm actually here. I'm actually doing this. And as good as the advice be, my uncle, he one of the smartest dudes I know, for real.
Yeah.
And since I'm talking about my uncles, I gotta talk about Uncle Mike too, and a couple of them. But for me to be the one that's actually in the arena, you gotta be able to control that, and not just, I ain't gonna pick up every phone call because I don't feel like thinking about that right now. I'm not gonna just scroll on Instagram at a random time because I don't feel like going all the places that this random scroll is going to take me. But I think it's just being conscious of that and paying attention to what you're paying attention to.
Yeah, very conscious of what's going on, and this perspective is just super important.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Well, I mean, I appreciate you giving us a rundown of what's going on. And thumb all right? Hands all right?
I'm all good.
Yeah, all good, man. That's dope. So, yeah, man, the stuff you're doing off the court is really cool. I'm excited to jump into it. But if you could sum up before we get into it, like, who you are off the court, give us a couple words of like how to describe it.
It's a lot. I mean, I'm a person, so you can learn about, you can like so many different things. So, but first thing I say is family. I'm really big. I got a big family. I got a lot of little cousins, a lot of aunties, uncles, people I look up to, grandmothers, 3 of them. I got so that's the biggest thing. Also, like, when you come to like the business side, I'm learning. I like to learn about anything. I like to learn about stuff.
Yeah.
So, learning about that has been really interesting and fun for me. I like to learn from people older than me in the family, or not. Just learn from people that's been through different stuff. And I like to learn like trades and small little things too, artistic things. I could talk forever. Like, I like a lot of different things.
A lot of different interests.
Yeah.
If you could build an app of whatever you wanted, what would that app be? And I got something that I could share, or I'm going to share.
Okay. And it works. Whatever the purpose is, it would do it.
100%, no issues. If you could build an app, what would it be?
My app would teach people about financial literacy. Just teach people how to make money, how it works, so people's life can be better.
Damn. So super easy. Get on the app. Learn. There's all these topics of financial literacy.
But it ain't gonna be learned the way that you sit there, read an article, sit there and listen to a lecture. Like, it'll be something that, since you said it worked, whatever it is, I ain't figured it out yet. But whatever it is, it would make you understand it in a fun, easy way.
I got something for you.
What you got?
If I could build an app and it would just work automatically, it'd be a very, very simple app that would do 2 things. 1, I would share my location with the app. And 2, it would give me no more, no less, 3 to 4 the concerts or the top restaurants that are going on in that town that night. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. I don't want 1 option. I don't want 5 options. I need 3 to 4. Mm-hmm. And I want to see that in whatever city I'm in. Because when I'm traveling, I want options, but too many options, it just becomes Google Maps or Yelp.
Yeah.
I just want, like, share my location. Okay, here's 4 things going on tonight.
Yeah, and we got AI and stuff now. They can kind of build out, see what you did, see what you picked last time, what you like to do, and build that for you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool. I like that.
Would you invest in that?
I would.
Okay,
I would,
okay.
and I want to see it. I want to see it happen. I need to use it.
100%. I got a second one now that we're on it.
What's up?
An app that allows you to eject from any group chat without them knowing that you left the group chat that works on any platform. iMessage, Instagram, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Can I tell y'all something, man? I'm in too many group chats. There's too many group chats, bro. And when you leave the group chat,
it's a message.
You're the bad guy, even though you didn't ask to be in that group chat.
They got whoever can put you in a group chat, but now you got to make a statement to get out. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, it'd be great to sneak out without
slide out the back door.
Yeah, exactly. Slide the back door. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my second app. What you think about that one?
I like that one too.
Okay, smooth.
Yeah, build a portfolio.
Okay, yeah, being the Moody Ventures.
Here we go.
Yeah, 100%. To be a warrior in Silicon Valley and be interested in business, I think I have a story I can share that encapsulates probably the position you're in and how cool it is. You got into a meet and greet at the Salesforce event with Mark Benioff. He's founder and CEO of Salesforce.
Do your research, I see.
And you were at the meet and greet, but also without you knowing, Andre Iguodala was there trying to do the same thing, networking, blah, 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 blah. You guys didn't even coordinate that beforehand. But what is the coincidence of you guys being in the same room with a CEO tech founder? And I think that encapsulates being a warrior. Getting these amazing opportunities.
Yeah, Bob Myers was there too, not knowing that he was going to be there.
So Bob Myers was there as well.
Yeah.
So everyone had the scoop. Everyone had the everyone was trying to get in there. No one talked about it beforehand. They were trying to.
Yeah, I guess yeah. That's cool. That's cool that you even knew that. I don't know how you did. I never talked about that. I don't think.
Hey man, we do our research.
Do your thing. I see. I'm impressed.
But to me, that's like at a high level, man. The opportunities you get as a warrior. Chat about how it's been the past 4 years. Like, a young guy like me who wants to network and meet people, make us jealous.
Real quick before you get to that one, I want to shout out to Mark Benioff too, because when I was doing that, I brought my cousin with me who has a Salesforce consulting startup that he's doing. But really, like, he especially at that point, he was figuring it out kind of. And I met Mark Benioff, and he gave my cousin his email and told him email him whatever he needed. Just gave him the email, and he emailed him, and he emailed him back. And this is my cousin that he had. That there's nothing for him. Like it was a big shout out to him for that.
Big shout out to Mark.
Yeah.
So he just did it off love, just being helpful.
Just because.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So make us jealous, man. Like, how has it been being able to meet all these people? Because I think to describe it to folks who aren't in the Bay Area, super tech focus. The Bay is all about tech. But the Bay loves basketball. The Bay lives and breathes the Warriors. And some of the most influential people in the city in business are always at the games. I see it on TV. I know who sits next to y'all's bench. And I can name like the 5 people. And it's crazy because they're not actors. They're not rappers. Well, shout out E40. E's on the side of the bench. Yeah. I'm there. You haven't seen me, but I'll be there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I got shout out my guy Furkan. But these guys are going to your games too, so I'm sure you talk about the relationships you develop. What's that been like?
It's cool. I think
keep it humble.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think like the lesson in that is all about opportunity. Like you said, make the people jealous. But I think it's so much opportunity in front of everybody, and you either get something or you don't, because you see it or you don't. I could be here in Silicon Valley as a basketball player and not know who sits right next to the bench because I'm,
Yeah.
But when you see the opportunity and you go after it and you try, then you can get so much out of it. And I think it's a big opportunity here in Silicon Valley, obviously being a Warrior, and it's a great situation. And I've liked to, and that's another part too, is that you got to go do work by yourself too. Like the opportunity, no matter how big it is, you can go meet a whole bunch of people and you ain't doing nothing. They can't help you in no way.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing. You don't got no questions to ask. So you got to go. That's what I say. I like to learn. I like to learn about everything. So when I meet somebody or whatever, I can talk about it. I can ask about it. I can learn about it. And I think that's just trying to make the most out of the opportunity.
I appreciate you said that because you can't just play the athlete card. You just got to be proactive. You got to take steps that people are surprised you're taking.
Yeah, you athlete. Yeah, you cute. You sit in the room being cute. What that do for anybody? What that do for you?
Yeah, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
And I think something we always chat about is, unless you're Steph, if you're looking for startups or companies to invest in early, you got to do the work early before they get so big that it's not worth their time.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's another thing. Like, can't nobody else do the work for you? Yeah, because my dad used to always say this when I was growing up. This is my dad. Like, this is my dad that I'll go to home with every day. Like, that dad. He said, when you hungry, my stomach don't hurt.
Damn.
And that always stuck with. That always stuck with my dad, the dude that feeds me every day. My mom too. Obviously, they both. But like the person that cares the most about me eating, when I'm hungry, his stomach don't hurt.
Yeah.
So that goes to say, like, whoever's helping you, they got a family. They got other stuff too. You is the only one that care about you as much as you do. Yeah. So you got to go figure it out for yourself.
That's deep. That's actually deep. That's a saying of the day. I'm gonna write that one down. If I was a Warrior, my strategy would if I were you, I mean, you're not saying you could do exactly this, but I would shake everyone in courtside's hand, even if I didn't know who they were, because all these people are somebody. It's crazy what's going on in Chase Bank these days.
Yeah, a big thing that I've learned from being here, though, to that point, yes, I definitely should. But I really like my genuine relationships that I've made. And, you do networking, you shake hands, you meet people, but it's different when you have a genuine relationship with somebody.
Sure.
And the amount of stuff they'll do for you that you'll do for them because it's a relationship. They really your friend. Like, there is transactional stuff that happen between acquaintances and all of that.
Sure.
But like as your network grows slowly, because you're not taking one meeting with 1,000 people. Well, I'm taking 20 hangout. I'm hanging out with somebody. We really getting to know each other, and that's just you got more friends rather than I just like that.
Yeah, 100%. Go deeper on a relationship versus surface level networking.
And then that weeds out a lot of people too, because a lot of people that you don't genuinely bond with, don't work for you. That's not a good relationship. And if that's not a good relationship, that's not a good relationship. So but you might not even figure that out if y'all don't hang it out. If y'all don't hang out enough.
That's facts. And what we have in common, I think, is we love the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite books ever, and really taught me a lot about money. I don't think a lot of people know this about you, but you're one of the only multimillionaires I know that's done an internship. You interned for Brandon Shorenstein, real estate mogul and season ticket holder in the Bay Area, and did an internship with his real estate company. Can you chat about how that came about and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, like you said, I'm curious. Like I said, I'm curious. I like to learn about different stuff, and I realized after watching Founders on Netflix, actually in Rich Dad Poor Dad, actually where I first heard about McDonald's is not a burger company; it's a real estate company. They own the best real estate in the country.
Yeah,
and that really made me realize that kind of everything's a real estate company, and real estate is a part of everything.
Sure.
So not to say if I want to get into real estate enough or not, but that's something that I should learn about. And my favorite way to learn is through active experiences. And I had the opportunity, knowing Brandon sits right next to the bench, talk to him. He offered it. I asked him what's the best way to learn it. Yeah. And he told me an internship would be that. And he signed me up, and we got it going.
That's sweet. So did you sit in the office? Did you have like a dress code?
Oh no, I was fully in there.
Yeah.
I had my dress code every day. I had a desk. I had my headset. I came in. I had to go work out in the morning. So work started at 9, but I get there at 10 every day because I would go at 6 to the gym to do my lifting and all of that.
This is between your rookie and sophomore season? Sophomore or third and fourth. Second or third year?
This might have been I think this was last year.
Last year, okay.
Yeah, this was last year.
Yep.
But yeah, I would go from 10 to 5 every day.
Damn. Yeah. How many weeks did you do?
I did it for about a month.
Okay.
And then I had to go to LA to get going with basketball.
Smooth.
Yeah.
They have you answering phone calls or like looking up properties? Or were you on Zillow? Like what exactly the work that you did? Like,
yeah.
What is on your resume? If I were to like look at Moses Moody's resume, what bullet points for like the Shorenstein properties am I reading?
Yeah. What I was really doing most of the day is I would be taking this real estate class, but I would always just do that between stuff that I had to do. So we would go to different properties in the city and just because they was like Brandon was actually doing business and changing the layout of the area downstairs and going to the office and meeting with people, and I would just tag along with him and go watch him work. But then also we'll do like I'm sitting in the board meetings where they're doing underwritings and figuring out what's doing good, what's doing bad, and it was also during the midst of COVID, so you just figuring out in the high intensity atmosphere, just watching people at work. So doing that as well as learning to do them myself, because I'm first in the door. I can't just actually do your work and they don't So but I'm sitting right next to the person that's doing it. They hands on, showing me what they're doing, giving me my own stuff to do. So it was really good for me.
I guess what's been the most exciting part of your work so far in the venture capital space?
It's interesting. And Tony has been just a friend and a mentor to me, really. I called him while I was in Bahamas 2 days ago and talked about some stuff that I want to do with my family on the financial side, but just teaching and all that. Just really good conversation. I won't get into it, but that's the type of relationship I really have with Tony. I really like him a lot. And then crossover. What was the question?
The question is just like, what's been the most fun part of you about venture capital? Like, what have you learned the most? Like, what is interesting you about venture capital? Some people don't like it. We love it. I don't know. Like, what do you like about it?
Yeah, I really like to learn about it because as much as venture capital is about the future, I went and learned about the history and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers and the Carnegies. Like, that really made me realize that we're building the future of the world and doing it. And I really like conversations, whether if it's over lunch or just coffee or whatever it is, but just talking to people.
Yeah.
And some of the best conversations I've had have been in the venture capital world. From my man Ben at Reflect Orbital, that was just like the people.
Which is a startup. Reflect Orbital is a space startup. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy what you're in.
Yeah, and then Nick Donahue, I had a really good conversation with him. But it's just like the look that they have in their eye when it's not the pressure of. It doesn't feel like it's ulterior motive as much as they really love what they're doing. And the book. The Monk that sold his Ferrari.
Yeah.
It said happiness is when you figure out what you truly love to do in life and then putting all your time and effort into that. These people that I've met in the venture capital space really personify those words, and I feel it when I'm talking to them. And it just makes for an interesting conversation, informational conversation, but that's what I really like about it.
So as a hooper, you put all your blood, sweat, and tears into the game. You have a real passion for it. And I feel like because of that, you can sense quicker and with clarity these entrepreneurs when they really have something that they've dedicated their whole life to. Even if it is low-hanging aircraft over the damn ocean, you sensed like, okay, this guy is really all in on it. I want to support him. And I don't know maybe how to build it, but I want to support him any way I can.
Yeah. And that's something that I really feel like if the people that I want to work with, it's like I would really work with you no matter what you was doing. And the idea that you have, I would probably work with that idea if it was like a lesser capable person than you because the idea is so good. It's just something I've just been able to feel. But especially when it's the combination of both, it feels really good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. You have the idea, but you have the founder. Are you put more stock into the founder, or you really want to make sure the idea makes sense? And it's not. I'm not saying whatever you say. It's not a perfect formula.
Yeah.
But what do you look at first?
First, I would say the market. It's venture capital, so the power law, whatever it is, needs to. If it does go right, it needs to be able to justify the risk. 100%. So the market, I would think, but the first thing before the person and the product.
Interesting. Okay, so you're looking at market. That's or like you're looking at that first. That's great. What has been? Have you had a welcome to Silicon Valley moment where you've met with a founder and afterwards you're like, what just happened? How was I in that meeting?
Plenty of them. The dinners that I go to with Noah all the time. Noah Lincolnstein, he invites me to his crossover dinners in the Bay, and the conversations and people that I meet there. So those have been amazing. When I met Tony, that was because I actually met him, and Tony Hawk, because he's on the board of Tony Hawk's Foundation skateboard project. So I went to an event there and I met them, and that was just really cool. Just the people that was in there. Really, and then the founders that I meet with are a lot of times when I really feel that, because they talking about some revolutionary stuff that can have the potential to do so much.
Yeah.
So a lot of those conversations give me that feeling.
That's dope, man. And I'm glad you brought our foundation, because you've actually taken a step and have made your own foundation, Motivate One. Man, like, I want to have a foundation. My foundation, I think I'm going to try to build basketball courts in underprivileged areas. That's my thing. What's your thing with your foundation? There's something like what is your long-term goal with it?
When I first started it, it was really about figuring out the best way to help. Because you can, you're in a position to, and I like to do it while I'm so young and so close to the age of the people that I want to help.
Facts, yeah.
Because it's the disconnect isn't that big.
They can still relate to you.
Yeah, and I can relate to them, and I feel like I know what they thinking at times. Why they're not listening to the person they're supposed to? Why they're not doing what you think they're supposed to be doing, and all of that. And the focus of my foundation is exposure, broadening horizons. So I think we will underestimate kids, because I remember me when I was a kid. I was playing. I had basketball. That was why I got good grades in school. That's why I dealt with all the stuff that I didn't want to deal with. But I had a purpose. But so many kids don't play basketball. So many kids don't have that. So, and I think that's because you're not exposed to it. You don't know about it. So being able to give them something to work for, and then who knows how much they're willing to deal with and put up with. You think that kid bad, he just don't got no reason to be good.
Yeah, 100%. Man, and shout out to Moses Moody Day coming end of July. Holler. You get some plug some information about what's going on.
Yeah. So the city of Little Rock honored me with a day. Probably, I guess my rookie year, so 3-4 years from earlier. That's gonna be that's when I do my camp. I usually try to bring somebody. Clay, shout out to Clay. He came back. Rich Paul, he came back to Little Rock. So I'll try to get somebody this year to come back. But so just that, exposing them. Because when I was a kid, I didn't meet any NBA players. I met Joe Johnson. But other than him, I didn't meet any NBA players. So giving them that experience. But I know I'm not naive enough to think a camp is changing these kids' life. Like, that's a fun time. Yeah. But I also do a youth summit where I partner with a group called Trades for Life. And the kids is in the parking lot learning how to change tires, lay brick, cut hair. So they got a trade in their back pocket for whatever life, whenever stuff go bad at your job, whatever it is, you still got some purpose. Yeah. And then I also have invited different people, and you play basketball, and then when basketball doesn't work out, a lot of people got to go and pivot and do something completely different. And now you lost, and now you starting off from square one. But it's so many jobs to pivot away from basketball. So I was exposing them to those, whether if it's an agent or on the training staff or on the training or equipment manager or a stylist or a chef or a photographer. It's so many different things. It's one pivot away that I just wanted to expose them to.
That's dope, bro. That's amazing. You're with Klutch. I want to give a shout out to Klutch Sports. What has that relationship been with Klutch developing you off the court?
Yeah, I'm really interested in equity deals, but also interested in cash deals, like when it's just coming, whatever makes the most sense. Yeah. In that specific situation. But when you talk about what I'm learning from Klutch and being there, is same like I said before, you got to earn it. Like, they not just gonna give you everything because we athletes, we basketball players. Everybody don't want to hear that all the time. You got stuff to care about and worry about your career, especially early on. But Rich is there, a phone call away. If you go to wherever you at, he'll go to dinner, he'll go to lunch with you, go to dinner with you, whatever. And he's got a lot of knowledge and experience and stuff that he's seen in game that he's willing to dish out, as well as everybody else there. So it's there for you if you want it, and you can ask the right questions, and you can take as much as you want to take from it.
Here's what I've seen, and I'd like to get your perspective. Because the salaries in sports keep increasing, you'll always take a cash deal when it's appropriate and the timing's right. But I feel like a lot of marketing agencies, especially marketing agencies I've chatted with, have started to look at equity deals, because usually marketing agencies just help you get like a cash deal and then they take a percentage. But now I feel like more marketing agencies are like looking at like earlier brands to look at equity stuff. Have you seen that with Klutch? And like, have you seen a transition since you've been in the league of that attitude?
No, it's business. It's when it comes to business, you got to think outside the box and different ways you can benefit. What's the risk? What's the reward? Like all type of things, and I think that's under that umbrella. I always love an innovative way of thinking, a different thing. So yeah, I do see that that's something that's been on the rise lately.
You got an entrepreneur you look up to? Like, that's a badass dude.
I mean, it's so many that I've been dealing with, so I don't even want to necessarily pick a favorite or pick somebody. But Ben at Reflect is somebody that's just like really impressive to me, and what he's doing, and just the feeling that you get when you talk to him is really impressive. As well as Augustus at Rainmaker, he's a really impressive person, and the charisma he has, but even his ability to wear so many different hats, and like, you know, they making it rain, literally
making it rain,
right?
Like,
but it's so many regulations and stuff that you got to deal with the government and policies. But so he's able to do that and speak at the congressional hearings and all of that. But he also able to make it rain and create the drones and create the stuff that they're able to do it and manage the team with these all different skills. But that's really impressive to me.
You know, Andre's on my Mount Rushmore. If I had a Mount Rushmore of entrepreneurs, just how he is like built Mosaic, the venture capital firm, but also managed to like run the MBPA. That's not really an entrepreneurial thing. That's more of a like executive leadership thing. But starting Mosaic as an NBA player, but they are just it's just incredible to me what he's done.
And that's somebody that I was able to watch coming into the NBA. Just see what he's doing on his off days, see what he's doing on the plane, on the bus, and the way he manages his time has been something I could look up to.
If you started a company, I'm not saying you will or won't, but if you ever started your own company, not a foundation, but a real company that's trying to make money, what would it be? And like, in let's assume, kind of like the app thing, you could do whatever you wanted.
I don't know. I got to think about that a little bit more.
That wasn't on the Google Doc, was it? No, it's all good.
Yeah, all good.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, appreciate you coming on the pod, man. I'm so excited of not only what you're doing on the court, but off the court. I think you're really like ahead of your years. It's inspiring to see how you're handling everything.
Thank you.
And usually like lottery picks, like you don't need to think about kind of like the business and VC side, but you've really embraced it. So I know the Bay appreciates it. I know everyone courtside knows you are. And well, thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. This has been a really, really good interview just from the questions that you asked, the insight that you had, and the research that you did as well. But really just it's not cookie cutter. It was a fun conversation.
We put in work. Hey, you work on your game. I got to work on my question answer. It was another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast with your host, Noah Lack, with the man, Golden State Warriors, Moses Moody, little venture, little hoops. What more can you ask for on a Sunday in the Bay here at Founders Inc., a tech accelerator? Yeah. I mean, dude, your nerd level, whether you like it or not, just went up like 10%.
I'll take it.
Okay,
I
we'll
like
take it. Appreciate you, bro, for coming on the show.
My hand.
Can't do that because you got surgery.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Yeah.